Well, the first layout we came to at the Stamford Model Railway Show was Long Road TMD by Daniel Bonham. And this is a fictional layout located a few miles south of Cambridge on the old Bedford branch line, southwest of Trumpington and close to the M11 motorway. And the TMD was started in the 70s after the closure of the branch line, as the TMD was needed due to increased flow of traffic in the region. And as you can see, this is a DCC layout with full DCC sound as well, as you can see in this modern fleet of diesels. And now we have a Class 66 coming to shop with a small rake. One thing about this layout, you've got a variation of different classes of locos, and diesel locos traction on this layout, and so it pleases everyone on the modern era of diesel traction. Here we have a Class 60 coming to shot. I like the little sheds on this layout. This is opportunity for the operators to put other locos onto the layout without the public seeing it, by using the shed as a cutout inside the sheds where the operators can place locos onto the track and to come out of the shed. So it's a great idea. Here we have a layout created by Paul Leeming and Colin Green, Caradon Junction. This is inspired by the China Clay branch in eastern Cornwall, and the late Mike Kelly created this double gauge layout in 2015. And it's a good selection of Great Western locomotives. The scenic work is in lovely detail, and the trees and the hedgerows. Here we've got a Great Western tank pulling a mixed freight, but you notice, probably the eagle-eyed, that he's running a stop signal. Operator just obviously realised, because as we can see, it's now changed to green. But it's quite tricky operating a layout if you're on your own. Now we move on to Rennock. This is created by Tim and Matthew Stevens. Now Rennock is a station of picturesque line running through the southern suburbs of Glasgow during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Rennock served by loco-hauled trains at peak times and regular DMU services throughout the day. The track is Pico Code 75 fine scale, and like I said, you've got a nice Class 20 and a nice Class 31. Once again, it's a lovely small compact layout and good use of space. Now we move on to March in Time. Now this is a diesel depot layout. It's predominantly based in the late 1960s, when diesel revolution was making inroads into the steam era. Very few steam facilities are left due to the modernisation process. The diesel sheds are loosely modelled on those in March, Cambridgeshire. Once again, it's a very well detailed TMD yard with the track and the permanent way team working on the sleepers and the rail dumped on the side of the railway line. Here we have Tornado making an appearance, probably being stationed ready for a rail tour operation. Now we move on to Milo Mill. Now this layout is created by Graham Morfoot. Once again, it's a double gauge layout. The layout is set in a small town in the northwest of England. Now 3 industries are all served by the sidings. Wagon loads brought into the BR interchange sidings including chemicals, coal, oil and cereals, and plus recycled paper and clay slurry. They are often taken into the industrial area by private locomotives. Outward loads are paper, cleaning products and a Milo drink powder. Once again, it is very well detailed layout, and small cameo scenes are dotted around the layout. I do like the steam effect from the factory chimneys, very clever, and it gives something for the public to look at while there's no operation of trains.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Here we have a little shunter moving some freight stock. Now we have a lovely little engaged layout here, Porthallow by Nick Dibben of the Stamford Model Railway Club. Now this layout represents the terminus of a branch line in Cornwall and is set in the late 1950s. The station is at the edge of a town. Since the railway opened, several hotels have been built close by to cater for the summer holiday makers. Beyond the station, the line continues to the docks where fish and mineral traffic are handled. Here so you see some clay wagons passing through. We have a short passenger set coming into the station. Once again, this is a lovely detailed layout. We'll see here Great Western tank, obviously shown worse for wear due to the late steam era where things were starting to get neglected on the British railways. The station was like a little run round, so the train used to uncouple and then run round its train and take it back the other way. Obviously this layout gives an opportunity for shunting operations as well. Here we have an analogue O-gauge layout, marked at Obthorpe. Now this fictional rural North Eastern Railway terminus is set in Durham, Northumberland era of the 1930s. The layout portrays many North Eastern Railway features, including working slotted post signals. The buildings and structure are mostly scratch built in the North Eastern Railway style. A wide variety of stock, scratch and kit built can be seen on the layout, forming both passenger and general goods trains. Here we can see the lovely coal staves and the coal drops for the coal merchants. In here we have a little tank engine picking up a brake van. Nearby colliery uses the station to reverse load and empty wagons as a link for the wider distribution. Here we have an N-gauge layout built by Mike Berman. The layout is inspired by photos of the Calder Valley line between Hebmorden Bridge and Hebmorden, hence the name. The layout is all about the scenery, as you can see from the backdrop here. It's a simple double-track main line set in the late 60s and 70s. Now, Mike modelled this layout due to the knowledge of this area due to his love for walking, and he's done a thorough job and a great job on the detail of this layout and the scenery, and also the cameo appearances on this layout. Here we have a mixed freight running across the viaduct. Here's one of the cameo scenes, a couple of walkers, and now we have a cement train running across the small viaduct. It kept the public entertained due to the variation of locomotives and rolling stock running on the layout. Now we have a passenger express train running across the small viaduct. And once again a nice cameo scene of a farmer with his tractor. Here we have another double gauge layout, Lintor Town. This is a picturesque Great Western branch line terminus somewhere in the West Country. which supports both the local farming community and the town of Lintor. It's based in the early 20s, just prior to the grouping of 1923. Here we have a Great Western engine reversing back to its stock. Once again, the scenic detail is very appealing to the eye, and obviously lovely use of static grass and foliage for this layout. Now we see the engine coming into the terminus station, where there's a variation of freight traffic sitting in the yard.
Early 20s.
Once again, there's little scenes set on the layout for you to look at while there's no engines running on the layout. At one end of the layout, it did feature a turntable for locomotives to turn round. Now we have the train leaving the terminus with a short stock freight.
Still lost one there.
Here we have Branston and Heiington. I think I pronounced that right. Branston Heiington station was situated in the Heiington village, serving the mainly rural community of the area and include the village of Branston. This layout was created by Michael Coulter. Here we have a black and white photograph in its heyday. It closed to passenger traffic in 1958 and it closed to freight traffic in 1964, as seen in this photograph. It provided freight and passengers connections to Lincoln and the wider LNER network. Here's the up and down lines of the main line. And we have a little tank engine just waiting for shunting duties. Now it's off to collect its stock. Here we have a train on the up line, a short passenger stock with Grizzly coaching stock. Now the tank engine's picked up its light freight work and doing some shunting manoeuvres.
It's a bit of a shame that we've got that point coupled with that point, because down here, without it being over that.
Here we have another freight train passing through on the down line. Here we can see it's pulling artillery pieces. Obviously this layout is set in the 1940s, so the war is still ongoing. Now we have another mixed freight coming to shop. Here we have a little cameo scene at a bonfire. I like the effect of the glowing fire underneath. And also here we have a man up the ladder cutting the trees to put on the fire, but we see no health and safety there, no one footing the ladder. Here we look at the final layout of the day. Much Wittering, created by Ivan Cadge, a double O gauge layout. Set somewhere in Devon lies the small village of Much Wittering. The village boasts its own station at the end of a branch line. While small, the station serves a series of warehouses, as we can see here, for storing goods in preparation for onward travel by steamer. Here we see also a cameo scene set, so something to look at while there's no trains running. I also like the scenic detail. I love the weeping willow to the right and the use of static grass and also horsehair on the layout. Very nicely done. Well, it's been a lovely day here at Stamford at the Market Depot Model Railway Club exhibition. There was lovely layouts on display. There was 28 in all, N-gauge, double O and O gauge. I didn't get all of the layouts on the video today, but you just got a taste of what it was like here today at Stamford. So So the Market Deacon Model Rail Club put on a great show, and the answer is, will I be back again? The answer would be yes. So hopefully I'll see you in 2027, and as always, stay safe, keep well, and most importantly, keep modelling.